What would you describe the U.S. policy or approach to the cartels as right now?
I would say right now, the United States has an unclear strategy. And what I mean is you look at different government departments have different ideas, and they haven't really got a thought out strategy about this. If you look at, first of all, the DEA, the people who are dealing with drug cartels, dealing with drug traffickers. And, I spent a lot of time talking to DEA agents over the years doing this. Really like a lot of them on a personal level. I know these guys are like, brave. Some of these guys, they're infiltrating cartels and really getting in there. But the thing is about the DEA guys is they are, I would say, very mission orientated, but not really strategy orientated. They haven't really, the guys. I mean, these DEA guys are like, get in there, get in the weeds with these guys. Bring down. So they're like, bring down El Chapo. That's the big mission. Take down El Chapo. But then you take down El Chapo, they arrested him. Okay, he was arrested, escaped, arrested again, extradited, convicted. Convicted in early 2019, and it's only got worse since then. Now we've got worse fentanyl deaths than ever.
Yeah.
But that didn't solve things. You got on a mission. That was great. They got the mission. They take them down. So now they're going after the Chapo's sons, the Chapitos. The little Chapos. He's got these 4 sons who are trafficking. They bring those guys down. But then there's some problems when you look at how this works. Then the way they do is to bring down El Chapo, they're like, okay, we're going to give deals to a bunch of other narcos to testify against him. So you look at these deals, and I say, the guy we interviewed, published an interview with, Mini Leak. He did a deal, came out after 5 years. He was a major trafficker and involved in a lot of things. Came out after 5 years. So what are you're giving people a certain get out clause. They can traffic drugs, and then make a deal, and then come live a life in the United States. So that creates a certain flaw in the strategy there in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what are these guys? And some of them get paid a lot of money because they can then inform and be paid money. So then, it's kind of interesting how that works. But these DEA guys are getting results, and the prosecutor's getting results and bringing down the target, but at what cost? Then you've got, the foreign relations. So foreign relations, their thing is simply, okay, we're dealing with Mexico as a foreign partner. Now, going back, then you get sometimes, the foreign relations and also the CIA on their missions. So before it was, for a long time, against, bring down communism, fight communism. Then who do you ally with to fight communism? You ally with, the government of South Vietnam, but then they're corrupt and moving drugs. You ally with, Noriega in Panama, and then he ends up, he's convicted in the US court, and he was a CIA payroll, and that's all very, very documented. In Afghanistan, then
I was just going to say the Mujahideen, and we'll support a proxy war against communism, and then we're getting shot at by our own weapons.
Yeah, as a you support them against communism, and then, but also then so it becomes radical Islam becomes the enemy, and again a very legitimate enemy, but then bring down the Northern Alliance, Afghanistan. Afghanistan were moving out huge amounts of heroin. Now most of it's going to Europe, but Afghanistan, with all the $2 trillion of US aid, is pumping out heroin. Since the Taliban took over, the heroin production in Afghanistan has gone down 95%. So, what's happening now with China? I mean, the fentanyls, China's now biggest or second biggest trading partner of the United States, also owns a lot of US debt. And then what's China doing with this fentanyl? So then you've got a cross there of like, well, you've got on one side the DA agents and DHS agents trying to investigate and go after these guys, and then you've got kind of other government people overriding this, so I would say that the strategy is confused. You've got the strategy of and a lot of this stuff is interlinked. You've got the southern border problem or the southern border issues. You've got record numbers claiming asylum in the United States. Now, some of the asylum claims are bogus, but some of them are real asylum claims. You look at talk to these people, they're running from gangsters, from governments, but some of them are running from these same gangsters who are getting drug money and getting guns coming down. So I would say the United States hasn't got a clear strategy about, and then we get the United States itself. What's the current strategy for dealing with the fentanyl crisis? And it,
couldn't tell you. That's got to be so frustrating for people like the DA and the ATF, because the agents that you're talking to, they don't get to set policy. They're expected to execute policy, and if it shifts like a flag in the wind, and they have to navigate inside of the rule set that they're given, I can only imagine how frustrating that is. But from what I have been able to determine, your description of the policy being either confusing or nebulous, or a lot of people would say we don't have one at all, it's concerning.